Okay, so for today, we're going to do extension 1.7. You're going to find it after section 1.7 in your textbook. So it's going to be right after that. And you're determining whether the relation is a function. So some of the things that we've learned already is going to help you with today's assignment and today's lesson. All right, we talked about this yesterday, ways to represent a function. Remember, we talked about it being a verbal rule, meaning everything is in words. Or I can write it as an equation, and you'll notice how I took the verbal rule and I put it into an equation where it has all symbols and numbers, right? You have a table. Now you'll notice this is a T table. We've talked about T tables before. Most of the time when you have work, though, you would actually write this using an H table. So if ever there's work, you need to use an H table. Sometimes when it's ordered pairs, you just make a T table. So it depends on the use of the table and what you're doing. And then finally, a graph. I can take those ordered pairs and I can make a graph. This could be a great test question. Name 3 of the 4 ways to represent a function. Those would be really good ways of, or a really good problem for a test. Okay. Now, we're going to look on page 49 and 50. I'm going to put it on the smartboard, so you don't need to. You can keep up your notes the way it is. We're going to talk a little bit about the vertical line test and a relation, all right? So I'm going to get it up in my book. Now, you probably won't be able to see this on the video if you're watching the video, but that's okay. I just want to record it so you have an idea of what we're talking about. So you can open up your book to page 49 and follow along with me. You'll notice at the top of the page, it talks about a relation. A relation is the pairing of a set of inputs with a set of outputs. Every function is a relation, but not every relation is a function. And a relation is a function if for every input there's exactly one output. Blah, 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 right? Bunch of words that I have no clue what they mean. All right. Let me help you out with this. Do you have a lot of relationships in your life? You do, don't you? Name one relationship that you have in your life. You have your parents' relationship, and you've got a dad relationship and a mom relationship, right? So there's technically 2 different relationships. What else do you have a relationship with? Friends? Siblings? Pets? Cousins? Grandmas and grandpas, aunts and uncles. You got tons of relationships, right? Correct? Now, you do. Some of you have a boyfriend or girlfriend relationship, don't you? Yeah, you do. And, you know, that's okay. Now, the relationship that you have with your mother, do you have another relationship like your mom? I mean, go way, way back. Do you have another relationship that's as close? You don't. You don't, right? You've got one mom, right? And whether you like her or not, okay, usually when you're a teenager you don't, but that's okay. Eventually you'll learn to love her again. It's okay. Well, but it's one type, it's a special type of relationship, correct? Now, a relation in algebra is any table and any graph. There are several different tables and there's several different graphs, like you have several different relationships, okay? But there's only a special type that has that function relationship. A function relationship is like that mom, okay? It's a special type of relationship. Right? Now, let's take a look at a couple of these. First of all, we're going to look at A. It's the table in your book, example 1. All right? Is this relationship or table a function? It's not. Why is it not? Yeah. The inputs repeat. The input repeats. You'll notice that the 4s repeat, yes? So this is a relation, but it's not a function. So this could be another type of relationship, but it's not that mom relationship that we're looking for. Okay, let's look at B. Is that a function? Yes, it is, because the input does not repeat. So it's a special type of table. It's a special type of relation that's a function. So it's like the mom. Okay, it's a special type of function. All right, let's keep going. Now, you're going to notice that we're going to talk about something called the vertical line test. And you go, well, how do these tables and vertical line test, how do they go together? Well, let me show you. I'm going to take A from that last example in the table, and I'm going to graph it, okay? And you're not going to see this on the recording, but if you graph it yourself, you'll have an idea of what this means. So I'm going to graph this, and I'm going to go 0, 4, and I'm going to go 4, oops, sorry, it's 4, 0, not 0, 4. 4, 0, 4, 1, 5, 2, 6, 3, and 7, 4, yes? Okay, do you see that? All right, now, if I took a vertical line and passed it through this thing, do you see how the vertical line would go through the first 2 dots? Remember, a vertical line is an up and down line. Do you see how it passes through 2 dots? It's not a function. It doesn't pass something called the vertical line test. Okay, so this is no, because it doesn't pass the vertical line test. Have you guys heard that before, vertical line test? No, some of you might have last year, some might not have. All right, let's go to the next one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, 3, 1, 5, 2, 7, 3, 9, 2. Okay, so like this. If I draw a vertical line here, does it pass more than 1 point? No. How about here? No. How about here? Nope. How about here? So this is a function because it passes the vertical line test. Only 1 dot will go through those lines at one time. Okay. Let's go further down on page 49 down here. And this kind of gives you an idea of what this means. So do you see that red dotted vertical line? If I slided it back and forth, would it touch more than 1 dot? No, it wouldn't. Okay, if I took this vertical line, not horizontal line, but vertical line. If I take this vertical line and go like this, will it pass through more 1 dot? No. Now, I'm taking this vertical line. Do you see how it passes through how many dots? It passed through 3 dots. So this is not a function. All of these are relations, but they are not functions. All 3 of these are a relationship. This could be a grandpa, this could be a cousin, but this is the mom. Okay, or I should say this is the mom, this is the mom, and this is some other relationship. Okay, because for it to be a special relationship, it's like that mom, it's a function. We okay? Yes, no, maybe? Okay. Let's go and take a look at the next page. It's page 50. Right? Let's look at this one. All right, notice that it does not pass the vertical line test. It's a relation, but it doesn't pass it because you'll notice it passes through 2 dots. And then if you look at the next one, okay, that is a function because if I drew a vertical line on any one of those, it would only go through 1 dot. Okay, so your assignment is going to be on this next page, on page 50. 1, 2, and 3. Tell me if it's a relation or not, or a function or not. 4, 5, and 6. Tell me if it's a function or not. So it's vertical line test. And then 7, 8, and 9. Right? We'll talk about that in a little bit. Huh?
When we do 1, 2, 3, we'll get graph.
You don't do graph paper. You're just going to say whether the inputs repeat or not. Okay, and that's a great question. So when I do 1, 2, or 3, these 3, don't tell me whether it passes the vertical line test or not because I didn't give you a graph to tell me that. Does that make sense? What I'm looking for here is whether the inputs repeat or not. So I'm looking for a special answer. Okay, when I come down here, I'm looking for passes vertical line test because you'll notice that I have graphs. Okay, and then down here, you can use any reason you want to for 7, 8, or 9. Okay. Okay, now I want to go back to our notes. And you're going to notice we talked about vertical line test and relation. It says, note that every function is a relationship. Every time I talk about your mom, you have a relationship with her, correct? So you have a relationship with your mom, right? Yeah, you have a relationship with your mom, right? You did, right? You have a relationship with your mom, right? You have a relationship with your, okay? So every time you have a relationship with a mom, it's a function, okay? But is every relationship a function? Every relationship you have, is it a function? No, it's not. Okay. All right. Let's take a little bit closer look. Now, this can be found in your classzone.com. It's actually an activity. It's in chapter 1. It's kind of a fun one. I'm going to be pairing things up, and we're going to be determining whether things are a function or not, and then we'll be going on to your homework. So if you have questions, make sure that you talk to Mrs. Medvac.